Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fulton Street Beats. It's good to see you here again. I think this video is going to be a pretty important one to maybe help you understand this channel a little bit. And I'm not sure a lot of channels do this, but I'm going to do this because I think this will, well, answer a lot of questions. What Fulton Street Beats is all about. So I made a cheat sheet just so you know, because sometimes you have to jot down your thoughts. And I didn't want to do this off the top of my head because I always miss something if I do that. Sometimes I tend to ramble, but I think you guys deserve to know, well, how Fulton Street Beats operates and what it's all about, and how really you guys are really my number one priority. That and my wallet. And what I mean by that is I have to buy gear, so I have to be selective when I buy gear to both help the channel out, to bring to you guys what you want, and hopefully find a balance and make everybody happy, you and me. So let's start out this. Top 10 things to know about Fulton Street Beats and why you're here. So number 10, this is a hobby. I don't make tons of money doing this. I don't have the subscribers for that. And usually I'm upside down, meaning that usually I'm spending more money than what's coming in to support my hobby. And I'm bringing that to you. So my joy for guitars and gear, I just want to present that to you and have fun. It's not meant to be professional. It's all meant to be taken with a grain of salt. But it's just a hobby that I like to share with you and give you my personal opinions and thoughts. And that really is the extent of it right there. Number 9, I like all guitars. Now sometimes it might sound like I don't like a guitar. That's not true. I do. I like all guitars, providing that they're not total junk or garbage, because let's face it, nobody likes a garbage guitar, no matter what the brand. And I'm a believer that price point should really dictate how good a guitar should be. So if you get a very expensive guitar that is a pile of crap like we have seen here, well, I think it deserves at least a little bit of boo hiss. You know, I think they can do better, and without that, how do they get better? So it's not that I don't like Gibson, because I think Gibson makes an excellent guitar most of the time. Although, in my opinion, and from what I've seen, based on the evidence that I have seen, they're getting more and more frequently bad, as are other big brands too. So I know that sometimes that hurts people's feelings to say that. And while other cheap guitar manufacturers, less expensive guitar manufacturers, because I know people don't like the word cheap, so we'll say budget guitars, and that's what we are. We're more of a budget-oriented guitar channel. But budget guitars have increasingly, and if you're into guitars and you keep seeing these, and most of you who watch this channel are, you know that the quality has gotten outstanding. You are getting features on budget guitar now that used to be on very high-end guitars. And that's good for us, but bad for the high-end guitars because, well, the veil is being lifted, and people now can see that they might have been fooled or tricked at least. So I like all guitars. I don't like the politics behind guitars at all. I think that people really shouldn't hate other guitars or other guitar players or what have you. You have the right to like whatever you want. And I don't think anybody should be shunned for it. I think that's a very important statement to make. And if you're on this channel, I think you already know that. Number 8, you need to know that it takes a lot of work to do video production and research on a guitar or an item. There's a lot of work involved behind doing videos. Even when you're first starting out, and this channel is not a very old channel. I had a YouTube channel, I guess you'd say, but I wasn't really making videos. And then I actually had a different channel before this, and I changed it to guitars because I really liked them. I'm actually a drummer since I was 3 years old. Started playing guitars, and I got the bug, and I rolled with it. And why? Because, well, I built custom drums, and I like the inner workings of things that are mechanical. So I applied that to the guitar world. And quickly I found out that guitars aren't magical. No, not magical at all. There's no magical woods happening, nothing. Really all the qualities in the components and then the hardware. As far as guitar building goes, it's been going on for centuries, and they really got it down all across the board. And what you get on those with the luthier, if you want to call him that, that's actually doing the setup and making things right on it, it's really not as difficult as a lot of people have been led to believe. Now, does that mean that some of the stuff they do isn't difficult? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is basic setup and basic knowledge of guitars is a pretty simple task, and I encourage everyone to do that because you'll save yourself a ton of money. And that's where budget guitars also come in handy because you're not as afraid to experiment on them. I've even scalped my own fretboards and had amazing results, something I would never do on a high-end guitar. But I actually did it on a bunch. Start with build kits. Build kits are phenomenal. So it's really hard to do video production and get things right. Well, we have vocals to worry about. We have lights to worry about. We can't get it right all the time. As a matter of fact, as I'm doing this video, I noticed we have a reflection. Well, I can't very well stop the video and do the whole video over again because production would take forever. You never can get it quite right. And there's always going to be something about a video that someone doesn't like or someone will complain about. And once you realize that, you just carry on and you continue. And I do the best I can, and hopefully the quality improves throughout the years because I do plan on being here for you guys throughout the years and keep doing this and making you happy. Because I like people who have the same hobbies and interests that I do. That's the camaraderie of it, and that makes it pretty awesome in my book. So basically, don't be too judgmental. Things get better. Sometimes the quality's fantastic, sometimes it's bad. Okay. Number 7, I review all kinds of musical gear as it arrives, not just guitars. I'll review anything. Some of the stuff I purchase, and we'll get to this in a second, some I don't. Most of it I do. So I have stake in a lot of this. And even if I get something for free, I still have stake in it because it's my reputation that's on the line. And I don't want to tarnish that. I want to tell you guys the truth to the best of my ability. And keep in mind, when I get a product, I only can account for what I have. I can't guarantee that's what you're going to get. And I run into that a lot with people. They'll get something that's not like what I got, and they actually get mad at me about it. I can't help it. And so we'll move on to the next one. I just want to say that I do more than just guitars. We do microphones. We do gear. Some things aren't popular on the channel. And I'm going to get to that too. As a channel, when you're starting out, you're putting feelers out to see what people like because that's what it's based on. What do you like that I like also that we can agree on, that I can present to you? Well, that drives up the views, that makes the channel popular, that makes people want to watch it and keeps them coming back. That's my goal, is to keep you coming back and keep you happy. And if you're happy, I'm happy. It's fun for everybody. Number 6. I don't get paid to review things. I know a lot of reviewers do, and I don't knock them for it. I understand they got bills to pay. Personally, I don't get paid to review things. If this channel got big and huge, maybe then, but at the point where it's at right now, no, I don't get paid to review things. I actually got asked by a manufacturer the other day what is my review rate, what they wanted to pay me, and I was like, no, I don't. I kind of feel like if I do that, and this is just me, and I'm not putting in, but this is me, if I do that, then I almost feel like obligated. I got to find something good about something, right? What if there's not something good about something? So I just kind of want to keep it real, apples for apples, and let you know exactly what's going on. Now, as the gear, sometimes, like I said, I buy the things with my own money most of the time. So that's why I'm always upside down. That's right, I'm spending money to do these videos. And there's a lot of equipment involved in doing these videos. And it's quite pricey, and it seems like it's always going up or something is changing. So keep that in mind. And there's a lot of time that goes into production, editing, then and uploading, rendering. There's so much time. Number 5. I think we got number 5. Number 5. When I do receive a free product, which is happening more frequently now. I'm not going to lie to you, it's happening more frequently now. Since this channel, I've gotten thousands of subs within the last month, and it's really taken off. And we'll get to that in a second too. And since then, since it's gotten a little bit noticed, I have been getting more and more requests for reviews, which they want to send me products. And I'll get the emails, they'll roll in, and I'll either accept them, and sometimes they'll give me conditions that they'll want met, and I won't meet those conditions, such as, can we preview the video first? I don't want to do that. No, this is my channel. You're not going to approve my video. My video is going to be an honest review to you, the viewer, without anybody interacting in between. Now, I make it clear to them that I won't be rude to their company, but they're going to get an honest review no matter what, because that wouldn't be fair to you, and you guys wouldn't want to come back here if I didn't, right? Okay. So, honest review. Another thing I want to make clear. I don't tell, if I buy something, I don't tell who I'm getting it from that I review gear and guitars. I don't do that. I had a comment, well, they have a YouTube channel, they can watch it, but they don't know who I am. Most of the time when I order, it's not even through my name. And definitely nothing is linked to the Fulton Street Beats channel unless it is a sponsored review. And a sponsored review also does not mean that it's going to be a good review. I point out the good, the bad, and the ugly on all reviews, even with sponsored reviews, because that makes the sponsor do better. I hope that makes sense. Number 4, I will not be told what I can or can't unbox and review. I think a lot of you know what I'm talking about. I recently unboxed a EVH style, unbranded, unmarked, unbranded, unserialized guitar from AliExpress that was purchased legitimately through AliExpress, through a licensed seller with a business license that you can look up on AliExpress. And when the guitar came in, the channel instantly just went crazy. It's a cool guitar. Now, when I ordered this guitar, I believe this guitar was already in the United States because it came to my door so quickly, which means it was already built in, boom, here. I didn't know what I was getting. I don't know what something is until I open it up. I have an idea of what it may look like based on pictures, but I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly what marking it's going to have, what traits it's going to have, how it's going to sound, the fit, the finish. I don't know. So I unboxed this guitar, and everybody had a lot of interest because there's a lot of Eddie Van Halen fans out there. And I know I gained a lot of you guys through that guitar, and that's really awesome, and that's really cool. But the whole thing kind of blew up, and Fender guitars had a fit. The EVH brand had a fit. Everybody had a fit. And nobody realized that I'm simply unboxing a guitar. I don't check trademarks. I don't check anything like that. I'm buying a guitar from a legitimate licensed business source, and it's not my responsibility to vet a seller. It's not my responsibility. Now, the legalities of it, I'm not worrying about it on this channel. I'm not doing it. It's not my responsibility to do that. If a manufacturer has a problem with another manufacturer, they can take it up with each other. But I will not be told what I can review and unbox on this channel and this is what I am a private citizen sharing media with you, because private citizens can share media. So I do that. So everything's very transparent. If there is a link to something, everybody asks for links. Please give me a link. Please give me a link. Please give me a link. And sometimes it's like really, really frustrating because links change or sellers change or the link doesn't work. It's broken. So I do the best I can for transparency purposes. I'm not telling you to buy from anybody. Okay? Even when I use an affiliate link, what this guitar was definitely, I always tell you if I'm affiliate of a company. Now that EVH guitar, I don't know the seller, nothing. I was just an individual making a private sale on a website, like we all do. We don't vet everything that we buy. We don't go to Amazon and vet who we're buying from. It doesn't work that way. So we look at something, we make an informed decision, and we purchase it. And that's all I did, and I just presented that to you. The way it came out of the box is the way it came out of the box. Nothing more, nothing less. Did the guitar have some issues? Of course it did. Did I correct the issues? Yes, I did. Even to this day, I still find myself messing with the guitar and making it better and better. However, some people had a fit. They want to call things fake, call them counterfeits, whatever. I don't care. Each can have your opinions on things, and that's when the guitar snobbery comes out and the politics in it comes out, which we'll get to in a minute. But most of you, my viewers, 96% of my viewers love this stuff. And that really tells me a lot. And then the other few percent, their opinions are very strong, but they don't hold water. So I'm doing what I like and what the majority of you like. So I won't be told what I can and can't review. So just so you know, they won't be going away, guys. If they're available and I can buy them legitimately through legitimate sources, not using the dark web, but legitimate sources such as eBay, AliExpress, DHgate, they're all major selling platforms, even through YouTube that now runs ads for guitars from AliExpress. Sponsored ads, boom, they're there on YouTube. When I go through my YouTube feed, boop, they're popping up. AliExpress guitar. Matter of fact, the exact same looking EVH guitar was in a YouTube sponsored ad. Okay? They're on Facebook. They're everywhere. So to me, they're already vetted to do that. So, number 3. Yes, I like Chibsons. In 2023, I like Chibsons. In the past, they've been hit, they've been miss. I've had a few good ones years ago. Honestly, I never had another one up until recently. And you guys loved them. And I was expecting to get a junk one. The only junk one I got was one that had a broken neck due to shipping. And one that had a chip out of it, but that wasn't... I kept that one. But I believe they are a tremendous value for the money. And some are a tremendous value for, well, any money. And that's a really tough pill to swallow for guitar snobs. They just don't understand it. Although there are other guitar channels now that are taking note and actually seeing what's going on, and they can't deny it. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to get a junk one, because they're out there. But from what I've seen, and if you're willing to pay a little more, and I use the term Chibson, not in a derogatory way. I'm talking about a Chinese guitar, regardless of what's on the headstock. Regardless of whether it says Gibson, Chibson, Chibin, whatever it says on the headstock, I'm not talking that. I'm talking about the wood, the guitar itself. These things have gotten a lot better. Okay? They're a fantastic value for the money, and they make fantastic modding platforms. They're not going to fall apart on you. They work great, and now they come with amazing frets, and you name it. It's amazing. Large size pots, everything. So, just want to make that clear. Number 2, no, I just don't review Chibsons. A lot of people think I just review Chibsons. I do have a bunch now because, well, I got the bug because I was so curious. When I order a guitar, I do not request a logo on the headstock. So there might be a misconception in that. I don't request that. When I look at a guitar, if I go to eBay and I just order a guitar off of eBay, and it looks like a James Hetfield ESP, although on this guitar they don't show a headstock, they show nothing. Okay? And it looks at glance like an ESP, but when you look farther, you'll notice that, well, they never made an ESP quite like this. It's got a different switch layout. Things are different. So it's obviously not an ESP. It's not advertised as an ESP. As a matter of fact, country of origin is China. Says right on it, and there's no indication of anything being ESP on this. So I'm not buying with anybody intending to defraud me. So that's a big thing right there. So when I buy these guitars, if they happen to come with a headstock or with a headstock logo, okay. And if they don't, okay. Once again, I don't vet it. I base my decision on what I see, not on what I don't see. I hope that makes sense. I know you guys love them. And all the details of these guitars, it is very imperative that I show you the details. No matter who cringes, no matter who likes it or who doesn't, it's very imperative that I show you all of the details about these guitars so you can make informed decisions based on some sort of reality. Now, the legal side of it, We can get into that, but I'm not going to because it's not worth it, because everybody has a YouTube law degree or a Facebook law degree. So we're not going to even bother that. All I'm going to say to you is you guys do your own research. The United States Department of Justice is a good place to start for that. And I'm just going to leave it at that from now on. It's a good place to start. If you're worried about something being counterfeit and considered a counterfeit at its very worst, the worst word you can use, start there with the United States Department of Justice on the word counterfeit and what that means to you, a private citizen. Because it doesn't mean what most people think it does. And I'm just going to leave that there, and it's up to you to do your own due diligence and research. Now, number one thing about Fulton Street Beats. This is a place for positive attitudes. Simple. Positive attitudes. This is a positive attitude channel. This is for all guitar and gear lovers, period. No matter what your race is, color, creed, anything, your nationality, anything, where you live, where you don't live, this is the channel for you. We don't play those games here. Everyone is welcome except for one type of person we do discriminate against, and that is the assholes. That is right. Believe it or not, I do have a discriminatory bone in my body, and it's towards assholes. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. So we're not gonna be disrespectful to each other. We're not gonna put down people's things. We're gonna be constructive. We're gonna voice opinions based in fact. And what I mean by that is if you don't like something that I show, I totally respect you, and I understand that you may not like it. And if you want to put it in the comment section, hey, you know what? That's not for me. I don't like that because of X, Y, and Z. Okay. Number one, please make sure that your X, Y, and Z is based in fact. Or just say, you know what? I don't know why I don't like it. I just don't. Don't make up things. Don't be disrespectful. Don't call other people's things junk or garbage. It's very disrespectful. In other words, be positive in a manner where people can take you seriously. If you have a criticism, if you say, Mike, I don't like that because that's not a real maple top on that, and XYZ, that is duly noted, and we all can learn something from that. And that's another thing. We learn a lot from the comment sections, don't we? At least we hope to. I learn a lot. And sometimes I have to look up something or check something after somebody leaves a comment, and they'll be right. And that's fantastic because the minds of many are better than the minds of one. But we always want to be positive. We don't want to discriminate. I don't discriminate against guitars, for one, because they're pieces of wood. I don't care where they're built. And I don't discriminate against the people who build them. That, in my mind, drives me nuts. When somebody says, you got a guitar from communist China. No, I got a guitar who somebody was sweating over. I'm not saying the term sweatshop either, guys. But somebody put some hard work into it. And it went to someone who maybe appreciated the time and effort that they put into it, while maybe feeding them at the same time. I hope that makes sense, because we're all people, we're all individuals, we're all human. And I think we've lost our way about that. And we just have an automatic go-to of hate when it comes from something coming from another country, unless it comes from another country that one of the big manufacturers own. Then it seems to be okay, which means you've been indoctrinated. And that's the type of people that seem to do that stuff. But we're not going to discriminate here. I don't care where you come from. We like guitars, and that's all there is to it. There's nothing deeper. There's no hidden evil agenda behind it. And generally, we like the people that make the guitars also, because I'm sure they put a lot of hard work into it and would like to be acknowledged and appreciated. And that's what we try to do here. I hope that makes sense. And if it doesn't, it's not the channel for you. I suggest that you move on. And that's all. Remember, guys, we always, here's another thing. We have a zero tolerance for the hate here. There's zero tolerance. the bad comments, the nasty comments, the rude comments. And I think a lot of channels are afraid to say something. Well, I'm going to say it to you guys because I'm going to be honest and transparent with all of my subscribers. And I'm talking to my subscribers. If you're not subbed here, it doesn't make a difference. But if you are subbed here, you're thinking about subbing here, this might mean something to you. I channel ban. It's my channel. This is my hobby. This is my little world that I like to share with you. And I do channel ban people who are rude, ignorant, and mean to others, including mean to me. It's just not a place for it. We keep the positivity. Now, some comments, I have to admit, I do allow. They're on the borderline. So I always have to make, well, an informed decision when I read something. I don't like bad comments either way. I don't like the I hate thing. I just don't like it. I don't want anybody to hate Gibson. I don't want anybody to hate Fender. I don't want anybody to hate Chibson. Any brand. I don't want them to hate it. I want them to try to understand it. I might not agree with things, but try to understand it. And then we can make informed decisions on, well, what comments to make and how to resolve issues through positivity. And I know this sounds weird, sounds like a lecture, and I'm not trying to lecture. But we take people more seriously with legitimate comments and concerns instead of bashing. We take them more seriously, and then things are more apt to get done. For instance, I know I've pissed off a lot of big brands with my videos. It's not my intention. My intention is to make them better. And if they're watching this right now, I know they cringe a lot, but my intentions aren't to bash you or put you down. It's just simply not. It's to show you, well, what other people think, right? So you can get an idea, not just in the world where people love you, but on the other side too, and maybe why they don't love you. Maybe a look at them and what they think and why they think it. And man, I just don't, some things I don't understand, because I think some of these big manufacturers could really hit it out of the park and do even better if they were more grounded in the reality, my opinion, the reality of what most consumers want. Not the high-end consumers, but most consumers want. If they could do that, there would be no stopping them. You know, everybody complains we buy from China, right? Let's talk about that. The fact of the matter is, if we had a choice, we really wouldn't be, but we don't have a choice because the quality versus, you know, the value versus quality is not there. So if we make other brands better through our voice in the budget guitar world, our voice, we strive to get something better and maybe pay a little more for it without feeling like we have to take out a second mortgage on the home. And I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to give you guys a little bonus here too. So that was number one. We're going to give you a little bonus. I always, this is to the manufacturers, to the sellers, to those of you who are new to Fulton Street Beats, who have products, or maybe not new, and you've been angry for a while, or you've been upset that I've said something that you didn't like. It's not my intention to make you angry. Just so you know, it's not my intention. And my intention is to make you understand. That's all. So I always challenge all of you manufacturers to participate, put your money where your mouth is, and put your best forward. If you are proud of something, talk to me. Tell me why, show me why, and I will gladly present it to all of my viewers, period. There's no tricks involved. There's no nothing. There's no bias. There's no nothing. If you believe you have the best product, show it to us. I will show my viewers, and we will judge for ourselves, unbiased, judge for ourselves. And maybe if you get real response and real criticisms, you will have that product one day that is the best, or for the time being the best, because there's no such thing as the best for very long, is there? If you want to show it off and you think it's the best, let's compare them. Let's say from the lowest end guitars, the cheapest guitars. I'm going to give you, for instance, we have this Volgoa back here on the wall. was a $150 guitar. It's simply outstanding, and people had problems with that guitar too. They just, how can't be a good $150? It's a fantastic $150 guitar. Matter of fact, it plays really, really, really good, and it's a beautiful guitar. At that price point, at that $150 price point, I haven't personally seen anyone better that plays that good and looks that good out of the box. Now, is it perfect? If things that can be better, there's always things that can be better. But I'm talking at that price point. To have a guitar at that price point that plays that good, and normally you're in the $400 or $500 range. It's a mind thing. We all think, we look at a price and go, this is where it needs to play at. And then if it doesn't play at that, we assume that in our mind it's still playing at that level because that's what it cost, and that's not the case. So we want to keep that in check and make sure that we always maintain a proper price point for things. And we know it can be done because even big manufacturers build overseas and make things for, pennies on the dollar. And there's nothing wrong with that. No, I don't see anything wrong with that either. What's wrong with that is the people who judge other companies for doing the same thing, especially when those companies are based out of exactly where they're building them. So I never understood it's okay for Americans to build in China, but it's not okay for China to build in China. Never understood that. It's always and I'm going to say this, and there's kids out of the room. It's always seems to be with guitar snobs. It always seems to be hooray for me and fuck you. And that is something that is very common across the board with guitar snobs. What I have is the best. My team is the best, and yours all suck. But they'll never tell you that in person to your face, only through a keyboard. And that shows a lot about the character of these kind of people. But we have to deal with them. So, that's it. And remember, quality is always changing. And I think that about sums it up. In a nutshell, you're going to have honesty here. You're going to have varying, conflicting reports on guitars from this channel versus other channels because everything is different. So if you say to me, this guitar channel said X, Y, and Z, and you're saying X, Y, and Z, well, that's because we received two different things. Case in point, Bald Shredder, fantastic channel. I love his content. As a matter of fact, he's a big reason why I do this. Because I enjoyed watching his content, and that's what it's all about. I enjoy it. And he's always truthful. I consider him one of my YouTube friends. And he's always truthful, and he does the best he can to make you guys happy, and I love that about him. But we did it with a Kramer. I was nagging him. You got to get a Kramer Beretta Special. Loved those guitars at that price point. I love those guitars. He got one. He didn't find it as good as I did. And it happens. Now, did I immediately get combative and say, you have to know? Because we're all individuals. We all have different expectations. And not just that, we all like different things. He likes very slim necks. Me, I've learned to, kind of like them all. They all fit on any given day, and things can change, especially when you have guitars going through your hands. What did we have this year? 150 guitars this year. So, yeah, they come through. I get used to them, boom, 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 and now all kinds of other gears coming in. We're doing pedal boards. I have reviews backed up for you guys, literally backed up, waiting to do because I'm falling behind because the channel kind of took off faster than I thought it was gonna. We're almost at 10,000 subs now, and it wasn't even a month ago we were at 5,000 or maybe even less. So it's been crazy, and the Chibsons have done that because you guys have spoken, and it's a win-win because I like them too. I don't order them illegally either, guys. So that's got to stop. I order through major sources, major platforms as unbranded guitars. They never show me a brand. So if they come with a brand, I can't help it. Someone's got to take that up with the manufacturers. I'm not going to get into that. I attempted it. Nobody wants to hear it. We're not going to do it. So it's that simple. At one point, I took the brands and I took a permanent marker and took off the change of the name up top. You know what? And I figured to myself, you know what? Just had to buff that out and got it back off. You know what? I'm not changing for anybody. It is what it is. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit, is what my daughter says. Thanks for watching Full Street Beats, guys. Remember, it's rock and roll makes the world do that twirly thing as always, and I appreciate every one of you who have that positive attitude, who just like cool and honest reviews. Peace.